look at that. Okay, so I prepared some key takeaways from MeganLand. These are not very technical in any way, shape, or form. We'll see if we can get there. All right, so Sunday we had several presentations. These were the official titles of the presentations, except for integrated risk because it was provided to me in Swedish, and those were the only words that I thought sort of made sense based on Google Translate. But those are the ones that we heard. Woody is the author from Boston. You can click only the options provided to you. We need a more holistic approach, focus on relationships of trust, and he's not giving his children the option to get a puppy. These were the key takeaways that I took away from Woody's presentation yesterday. I'd like to get into his kid's ear and tell them that they should have an option to get a dog. Ulf talked about culture being strategy. The processes do not exist for 3 different reasons. And then that non-traditional entry into the workforce, basically college should not be required. Again, these are really high-level summaries. Don't count this towards your CPE. Per and Carl from Stratsys, a checklist without verification is nothing. I loved that because I hate when you sit in a meeting and they're like, check the box, check the box. For what? If you're not going to do anything with it. Their Space Invader slide, which I would still like to see if anybody has a copy of the Space Invader slide. And then they hosted yesterday's Fika. Angelique was doing C++ programming at the age of 7. And the business does not understand what she can do for them, which I thought was interesting. And an outsourced risk is still your risk. I've heard some, even at ISACA, right? It's like, blame the vendor. Blame the vendor. It doesn't go right, blame the vendor. Like, well, did you not do your own diligence when you looked at this vendor? So that was super frustrating. Joe, as I've said now 3 times, when something doesn't work, just kick it until you get what you want. Also, the Trezor wallet hack, and my mind was just completely blown by everything that he was saying. So anyway, that was yesterday. Today, I have my very own Swedish Fika plate full of all sorts of goodies. The time we talked to NATO, I mean, not very often you get to attend a conference and say you talked to NATO. The Swedish chef chefing it up in Swedish, where I understood nothing, and then the other presentations that we had today. So Mario told us that work life has been rough since November. And just so everybody knows, he had to take that Teams call from his house because you cannot connect to Teams via NATO protocol from their office. So he had to stay at home and do the Teams call. He couldn't do it from the office, which I thought was fascinating. Joe took us through security through obscurity, how to tank a cruise liner, which I thought was pretty funny. Don't publish photos of your systems, and other interesting topics, which I did not include on the slide. Paula's a little out of order here just because I had to wait for Kariana to actually say something so I could put her on a slide, so she's on the next one. Paula has the coolest jacket ever in the history of profile photos. Like, these are like, they look like tongue studs, like tongue ring studs, but I just love her jacket. As I mentioned, I'm now officially terrified of hackers. I thought I could trust MFA. I was able to pronounce her last name after much practice, and Freddy Krueger saves his passwords. So this is our friend Jan talking from Secure State Cyber, something about Swedish legislation. I have absolutely no idea what he said, but I'm sure it was scintillating. And then Kariana talking about anyone can become a hacker if they're given a playbook, which also I thought they were sitting in a basement in a dark hood, and that you have to prepare for manual backup. And I have to agree that if I were staying at a hotel, I would have found it exciting. You know, especially at the beginning of it, like, wow, this is so fun. And I would have been very understanding. Truly, I mean, who wouldn't? You feel terrible for these poor people who are trying to do their best. This is our group photo that we took. I sent several, I think I took like 5 or 6. I sent them all to Munir. I'm sure he will make sure you get a copy. There's our Zoom friends in the background. Thank you for turning on your cameras. Those of you who did, greatly appreciate it. And then here is my summary. First of all, Munir is amazing. Big round of applause for Munir. Second, Petra, Michael, and Ronya are fabulous dining companions. I ate with them like 4 nights in a row. So thank you for your fabulous company and for everything you did for me while I was here. The world's problems probably could be solved with Swedish fika. Everybody is always happy when they're eating delicious food and drinking coffee. My goal is to go back and make hey a happier sounding term in the United States instead of just hey, do this and hey, do that. Just walk in and be like, hey, hey. Everyone in this hotel knows I drink hot chocolate. I was sitting at dinner last night. 2 servers came over. Would you like some hot chocolate? I'm like, no, I'm fine, thank you. And I was standing out there earlier. Would you like some more hot chocolate? I'm like, my God, do I have like a sign on my back? It's impressive. So somebody said earlier, you should come back in 2 years and see if like the staff remembers. You're the hot chocolate girl. And then just in closing, Stockholm is absolutely fabulous. And thank you all for being here and for, I will be back, I promise. So this is my contact information. And if any of you have any questions about ISACA, if you do want to become a member and you're not, and you really want your little new member fee waived, I'll be happy to do that for you. Just email me.